Hi guys, Konstantin here from CGC. I'm sure that you're aware of this because it's been released all over the YouTube last week, but there's been an issue with AMD X3D CPUs. They've been blowing up apparently, and this issue seems to be because of over voltages on some motherboards. Now, most of the manufacturers have started implementing fixes. And the situation seems to be going under control. Now, one of the manufacturers has been under siege by Gamers Nexus, Steve Burke, who's discovered a lot of issues under this AMD over voltage situation on motherboard manufacturers. There's a very interesting video here. I'm gonna put some bits of it as well. Now, this is an official statement from Tech Power Up website saying that AMD from AMD, so the statement is from AMD saying that there's some issues with uncertain power rail on AM5 motherboards, the SoC voltage going above 1.3 volts, causing Ryzen processors that use memory expo. They've noticed that these CPUs start blowing up and they destroy the motherboard and the CPU as well. Now this should be covered by the manufacturer's warranty. Apparently some manufacturers weren't very straightforward into trying to replace the customers' products, which pissed off Steve Burke even more, and one of these manufacturers were unfortunately Asus. So what they did say is that the main thing that it said here is SoC voltage above 1.3 volts. Now, going into, because I've got a x670 motherboard, that's why I'm interested and that's why I'm making this video. So what I did was, after seeing what's going on and the fact that I don't have an X3D CPU, I've got a regular one, I just tried to look into it. So I went into Asus's website, and under BIOS and firmware, I've noticed that the latest releases are indeed, as what the guys are saying from Gamers Nexus, beta versions. Now, I'm sure they warned you as well, and that video is a lot more explanatory than this one. Do not go for beta versions when you're updating BIOS. BIOS is an important software in your motherboard. You don't want it to run it on a beta version because there might be some features that the BIOS has that haven't been fully tested or fully implemented on the BIOS version that might make your motherboard maloperate, such as USB ports might not work. You might have driver issues. Some of your devices might not be registered anymore. Some of your devices might actually work wrong. It might damage some of your devices if it overvolts them. There's a lot of issues. It might crash, it might reboot, it might not start. Anyways, there's a lot of, it could also work. There's a chance it also works. But beta versions is a big no-no. No bueno, sir. Don't do that. So what I did notice is what they've said is they've removed it now. Haha. So under Steve Burke's video, they've written down here that they don't take responsibility if you use XMP profile and overvolt your memory, but apparently they took it down. Haha. So Steve is making a dent into them. Right, so again, what it does say here is SoC voltage for Ryzen 7000 series limited to maximum of 1.3. Well, tell you what, you don't need to update the BIOS to do that. You can do that manually. I'm just gonna put a short video in here which I'm gonna show you how I did that in BIOS, so you can do it yourself at home and avoid updating to these beta versions and wait for the final release, which is probably gonna be a couple of weeks from now, and stay safe knowing that you're not going to blow up your motherboard and CPU. Right, so one way of fixing it is going into BIOS under Extreme Tweaker. Apologies for the shakiness of the video, is filmed with my phone. Under Extreme Tweaker, just go down under CPU SoC voltage, set it to manual mode and set the value to 1.3 volts. Also F10, save and exit. And that's it. That should solve your issues. No BIOS update required until Asus releases a official version.